free.
Can it help with what I wrote last night?
Grammarly will catch all those spelling and grammar errors and
So Bape is known as one of the biggest names in all of streetwear. And in the early 2000s, this Japanese brand pretty much took over the entire world. And this camo design was seen on just about every rapper in the 2010s. I mean, from Soulja Boy making a song about it, to Kanye West even modeling for the brand. And just about every celebrity was wearing this. Pharrell, Drake, Lil Wayne. And this era of fashion will forever go down in history. But during this time, the owner Nigo was actually hiding a huge secret. And this didn't come out until almost 20 years later when he'd already sold the brand. This one is crazy. Buckle up. Ooh, we're back, guys. We're back. I told you we're back. I'm filming, I'm editing, I'm making videos every week. I told you this return on YouTube is about to be legendary. We're back in full force. Don't forget to drop a like, hit the little subscribe button, and let's begin. So let's start from the beginning. Nigo, the founder of Bape, came from a middle-class family, and when he was growing up, he loved films, movies, and especially American hip-hop. And when Nigo created the brand in 1993, you can see a lot of the inspiration from his childhood in these designs. And he actually came up with the concept of the brand Bape when he was watching a 5-hour marathon of Planet of the Apes. I know, right? And this rang a bell, and he created the brand Bape, or a bathing ape. And for those of you who don't know, a bathing ape is a nod to a Japanese reference, and that's a bathing ape in lukewarm water, which is basically meant to just describe somebody who overindulges in something. But anyway, that doesn't matter. And after creating the concept for the brand, he began making these t-shirts and selling them in a little store called Nowhere, like a tiny little store. And in the beginning, it was super simple. He just put the Bape Head logo on a t-shirt and sold it. But what Nigo did was something that other people didn't understand. This t-shirt and clothing brand that he had was nothing special when it came to the garment or how it was made. It wasn't anything manufactured in like Italy or anything like that. It was a screen printed logo on a t-shirt. But Nigo knew the art of exclusivity. He knew that the brand wasn't about the clothes themselves, it was about the lifestyle that was portrayed with the brand. You see, only select people wore this brand, and it was known to be exclusive. It sold out everywhere. So if you were able to get your hands on it and purchase it, then you were lucky. It was always about the image and the status of owning this versus the actual product itself. And you see, Supreme did the same thing. Back in the day, they were selling a Supreme t-shirt with the box logo on it, and it resold for $1,000. But they only made a very limited amount of these t-shirts, and then they sold out, and you had to buy them on the resale market. So Supreme itself wasn't selling it for $1,000. It was about the demand. You have millions of people that want it, and you only dropped just a little bit. And Nigo did just that. He only sold 50 t-shirts a week. He didn't get too greedy like other clothing brands did where they overproduced it. Normally you think if your brand is selling out, you need to make more and make more. But Nigo stayed true to only doing 50 a week and only being able to buy his clothing in a specific store that he owned. This is what made Bape different from any other brand. As the brand grew in Japan, it also started to gain a little bit of traction in the United States. The popular rapper and producer Pharrell is the one who kind of discovered it on a trip to Japan. And then you started seeing Pharrell and Kanye start to wear it. And when Bape dropped their Bapesta sneaker, this is when the brand popped off in the United States. With the popularity of the Air Force Ones in the early 2000s, Bathing Ape just made pretty much a bootleg of this iconic Nike Air Force One. And this actually got Nike's attention, and they were planning on suing the brand. But they made a deal with the owner of Bathing Ape, Nigo, that if he sold these exclusively in Asia and Japan, that they wouldn't sue him. So Nigo and the brand Bape agreed, and they didn't sell too much in the United States. They sold the majority of their Bapesta sneakers in Asia and Japan. But the brand was already so hot in the United States, what did people buy? The Bathing Ape clothing, specifically the shark hoodies and the camo zip-ups. Celebrities were losing their mind trying to get their hands on this Bape clothing because it was pretty much the only thing that you could get in the United States. But remember, Nigo, the owner, only made very, very few of these when he dropped them, so that they always sold out in seconds and that you couldn't just buy these on the website, which means you would have to buy them off a reseller for $1,000 instead of buying them on the Bape website for like $200. But you see, the owner Nigo wasn't making money on the resell side. Now, I don't know how many that he actually made, but he earlier referenced that he only did 50 t-shirts, right? So, for example, if he sold 1,000 of these on his website for $200, he only gets to get that profit. The people that buy them for $200 and sell them for $1,000, he doesn't see that money in the resell. Like, he doesn't make commission off the resell. So what started happening was people would get on the website during the drop and buy as many as they can and then resell them because they went for more money, which drive the brand to be more popular, but not everybody wanted to pay that $1,000 price tag. So what do people do when something's popular? They buy the bootleg, the counterfeit. And with the brand being very, very exclusive, the counterfeit side could make way more than the original owner Nigo. Because even if you sell the counterfeit ones for 50 bucks, they're probably selling thousands of this clothing versus the owner Nigo, who's only selling a couple hundred of them. And Nigo, the owner of the brand, made poor choices financially. It was reported that he was over $50 million in debt. The brand was fearing bankruptcy, and apparently he made poor investments by opening too many stores too quickly. And this also included a hair salon and a vape cafe. So what did the owner do? Instead of dropping more products, he wanted to keep that scarcity. Nigo actually bought fake factories and made fake vape hoodies to sell in the United States.
Hey, do not sell your house before doing this.
If you just do this.
Damn, bro, I ain't even gonna lie. I remember getting some fake
Instagram Live, a friend of Nigo, Ben Baller. I'm sure you've heard the whole Ben Baller did the chain, like that Ben Baller, the jeweler. Ben Baller went on an Instagram Live and pretty much exposed Nigo for doing this back in the early 2000s. Ben Baller stated that during this time of 2006 to 2007, at the brand's absolute height, when all the celebrities were wearing it, Nigo was making counterfeit of his own company and selling them while still keeping the image of having a high status, always sold out clothing brand. Yes, it might be a little bit unethical, but also it's kind of genius. And Ben Baller also stated that he made the best counterfeit vape hoodies because he was the owner. He made the original ones. So this also put the other counterfeit companies out of business because he could make the best fake vape hoodie and still sell them for 40 or 50 bucks instead of paying $1,000 on the resale market. This was Nigo's way of making more money and getting him out of debt while also making commissions on the real and the fake. And Ben Baller, before receiving a cease and assist from Bape, which Nigo doesn't own anymore, but we'll get into that, he got a cease and assist saying that he has to pretty much shut his mouth and not mention this on social media because it's bad for the brand, or they're gonna sue him because Nigo, his friend, is no longer in control of the brand. But Ben Baller said that these fake Bape hoodies were so good that Lil Wayne, Drake, Kanye West, these celebrities were wearing fake counterfeit Bape hoodies and they didn't even know it because of how good these fake Bape hoodies were and because the owner of the brand was making fake products. This is mind-blowing. And Ben Baller stated that this helped Nigo make an additional $300 million off the brand. Now, this helped Nigo stay afloat for a little bit, but after a few years, due to his poor financial decisions, the brand was set to pretty much go bankrupt. He pretty much just expanded way too fast and didn't have enough money to provide for this expansion, which is crazy because he was known for scarcity and like very limited products. And then he expanded too quickly and did something that he wasn't really familiar with, and then the whole brand went under. And on February 7th, 2011, Nigo sold the brand for just $2.8 million, which is peanuts, which is literally like peanuts compared to what he was making. $300 million of just the counterfeit alone, let alone the hundreds of millions of dollars he made from the real product. And after this, everybody knows what Bape is now. They went on to collab with a bunch of brands like Adidas, like I think they did the NFL and a whole bunch of brands. Pretty much Bape now is not owned by Nigo, so it's just kind of like a big corporate brand now. It's not really something that's like a staple in the culture. And of course, after Nigo sold the brand, a lot of the popular rappers like Pharrell, Kanye, Lil Wayne, all these people don't really wear the brand anymore because it's no longer associated with Nigo and they were friends with Nigo, so it was like they don't really have a reason to wear it anymore and popularize it because it's like corporately owned now. Now, I'm not saying that the brand is dead by any means. Everybody knows Bape. I don't think it will ever die. This is a fashion staple. Like in the history of streetwear, this is like one of the biggest brands that will go down in history. Like this is like MVP, Hall of Fame, Mount Rushmore of streetwear brands. It's definitely, Bape is definitely up there with Supreme and whoever you put on there on your own personal list. And yes, I'm wearing a Bape tee just for this video. I actually went to Japan and bought this at the Bape store in Japan. So just to show you, this brand is still very much alive and popular. Oh yeah, and Nike did go on to sue them, I think like 8 or 9 years later, something like that. Just recently, this happened in the past year. Nike did go on to sue Bathing Ape for the Bapesta shoes because after Nigo sold the brand, the big corporate company that now owns Bathing Ape, they began selling a lot of the Bapestas in the United States, pretty much breaking their contract they had with Nike. And so Nike went on to sue.
I remember one time, bro, I swapped some fucking fake ass Bape shorts for some Bud, man. Shit was good as hell. Fake Supreme too, man, on Funny. But yeah, that was an interesting video, man. Drop a like if you guys made it this far. Tell me what you guys want me to react to next, and yeah, let's get it.